welcome to Choo. My name is Jacob and I am a professional hot sauce maker. Well, at the very least, I own a humble but awesome hot sauce company based out of the Adelaide Hills in South Australia. And in this video, I'm going to show you guys how to make a delicious, creamy and smoky chipotle sauce. And we're doing it all from scratch. My gorgeous goddess of a wife made the mayonnaise. I'm going to make the adobo sauce and we're even going to smoke the chili peppers ourselves. Now don't worry if you can't be bothered smoking and you still want to make this type of sauce. I'm going to give you a couple of alternatives, mostly just canned stuff, but I like making stuff from scratch. It's going to be a lot of fun. So let's make some fucking hot sauce, motherfuckers. Everyone told me off for saying that in the last one. I don't give a shit. So what is Chipotle? A lot of people in the States, in the Americas, would probably already know this. Hot sauce, hot peppers isn't nearly as popular in Australia as it is over there, but still, some people might be a bit confused. So Chipotle is not a variety of chili like Tabasco, as in Tabasco sauce. That is a very specific type of chili. You can plant a Tabasco seed and grow a Tabasco pepper. You can't grow a chipotle pepper per se because they're just jalapenos. They're smoked jalapenos. So chipotle is a method of preserving, essentially dehydrating jalapenos via smoking them. So that's what chipotle means. It simply means smoked jalapenos, specifically red jalapenos. You might be thinking, where the hell can I get some red jalapenos from? You don't see them in the shops. In fact, all jalapenos will eventually turn red if left on the tree. Probably for commercial reasons, they tend to harvest them a lot earlier because they're still spicy and sweet and fruity even when they're green. So the only real way to get red jalapenos, at least in Australia, I've found, is to grow them yourselves. So in this video, I'm using green jalapenos. So they're not as sweet, not as fruity, not quite as hot, but they're pretty fucking similar, so I wouldn't stress about that. If you can't get red jalapenos, just use green ones. So let's go back in time and I'll show you how I smoked these peppers. So the first thing you want to do, cut your jalapenos in half. Don't worry about removing the seeds. A lot of people say you should remove your seeds when making the actual chipotle sauce because the seeds can be a little bit bitter. I've not found this, so I'm a lazy bastard. I'm just going to leave the seeds in. If you want to be particular, scrape them out. While we're here, I might as well bust a myth. The seeds aren't actually that hot. Well, they can be. What the seeds are attached to, known as the placenta, is where the capsaicinoid glands are located. Capsaicin is what makes chilies hot. It's the chemical responsible for the heatness. The seeds grow out of that placenta, so they're simply coated in the heat. So yes, technically, if you remove them, you might remove some bitterness. You might remove some heat. These are jalapenos. They're not that fucking hot. I'm lazy. I'm leaving them in. We're gonna add so much spice and yummy shit on top of this, it doesn't really matter. But if you're particular, traditionally, I think most people would remove the seeds. I'm just not gonna do it, so just bear that in mind. Cut your jalapenos, load up your smoker. I'm using hardwood lump charcoal and Tasmanian blue gum. Now traditionally in the Americas, I believe they would have used a pecan, which is a type of hickory to smoke this. I'm not going to go and buy wood from the hardware store or the service station when I've got an abundance of usable wood in my own yard. But if you want it to be a little bit more authentic, you'd probably want some kind of hickory, which is typically a lot more sweet. We can compensate by just adding a little bit of sugar in afterwards. It's not that big a deal. They're still ultra smoky. Tasmanian blue gum burns nice and clean, so it's not the end of the world. Your wood really does matter when smoking meats and different types of things where there are a lot more simple flavors. For this sauce, I don't think it's that big a deal. We're gonna smoke these until they're nice and crispy or almost nice and crispy. That's gonna take about 12 hours. If you can't be bothered, if you cannot be stuffed, cranking up the smoker, typically you'd probably want an offset smoker. This is I used a bullet smoker, which means it's a lot more direct heat. You can buy chipotle peppers in adobo sauce in a can from the supermarket. I like to make as much of my shit as I can from scratch. That's why I smoked them. You don't have to do that, but it is a lot of fun, so that's what I did. So we are going to make our adobo sauce, but first, if you are using homemade or home smoked jalapenos, they're typically going to be crispy, so we need to rehydrate them, okay? So the first thing you want to do is chuck your dried jalapenos in a bowl, and with some hot water or boiling water, we just want to cover them. And we're gonna let that sit for almost 30 minutes or until nice and soft. If you're using store-bought canned shit, they're already soaked, so you don't have to worry about this process. The cool part about this is a lot of that flavor, that smokiness, and all those delicious chili flavors are gonna soak into the water, and we're actually gonna use that water to thin out our adobo sauce later on, and maybe even our chipotle sauce. Or you can keep that for a super stew if you want something nice and smoky and yummy. or you can just fucking chuck it out, it's up to you. So we're gonna put that aside and get on with our adobo sauce. Let's talk spice. So I'm using half a teaspoon of cumin, sugar, pepper, and Mexican oregano. Now you might be going, what the flippin' flap is Mexican oregano? Oregano, marjoram, these things, the European versions, they're actually a part of the mint family, while this Mexican oregano is actually a part of the verbena family. I couldn't find that anywhere in South Australia except online, and I wanted to go ahead with this video. So if you're in the States, I'm sure you'd have a much better chance of finding this spice. Again, I could have ordered it online, but I couldn't be stuffed waiting. The internet tells me that the closest alternative is marjoram, despite what I just said. So I'm gonna use half a teaspoon of marjoram. But if you wanted to be properly authentic, or closer to authenticity, you'd wanna use Mexican oregano, which is a verbena. We're using marjoram, bit of salt, a little bit of sugar. Yeah, and that's the spices and herbs that we're gonna use for our adobo sauce. So now let's get to cooking. Oh yeah, don't forget, you're definitely gonna wanna get your hands on some red wine, some South Australian red wine. It's not authentic, but it just tastes great. Oh, I'm so lucky to live in this area. Fuck yes, that's good. All right, let's see if I can figure out how to use this electric motherfucker. Babe, do you know how to do this? I'll just... Shit! It's okay, Zach, don't worry about it. We're gonna use a couple of tablespoons of olive oil. I have to yell over the top of this thing. Half an onion and 4 cloves of garlic, or thereabouts, you know, depending on the size. Get that oil nice and hot first. Holy shit! So we're just gonna fry that off so it's a little bit brown. Classic, just like you cook an onion and garlic in any other situation, really. I know olive oil's a bit Western, you don't have to use it, but I like it. Remember, Chipotle sauce is a Tex-Mex creation, really. Chipotle is an ancient preserving method. Smoking foods as a preserving technique has been around for thousands upon thousands of years. Chipotle sauce, as in like the Tex-Mex taco sauce, like even tacos are a pretty recent invention. You know, there's so many different variations. There's no such thing as an authentic Chipotle sauce per se, at least not in my research, my understanding. Correct me if I'm wrong, Yanks, but that's my understanding of it. So you can be a little bit flexible with how you go about it, as long as those core ingredients are there, most notably the Chipotle peppers themselves. God, that smells good. I say this every time I cook onion. How good is just fried onion? It's fucked. 2 tablespoons of tomato paste, or thereabouts. I like a big glob of this shit. Yeah. You can use fresh tomatoes, you can use whatever, but I find that the concentrated flavor profile, that umami-ness of tomato paste is great. Add your spices. Yum, that looks great. What the fuck? I'm gonna put a tiny little bit of vinegar in here, but not too much, just a little bit. Just to sort of get those juices flowing. This is apple cider vinegar. Yes, that's the way, look at that. Snap, crackle, pop, motherfucker. Alright, you're gonna wanna get yourself a food processor like this. You can use a blender, you can even use a bar mix, like a stick mixer if you want. I find this to be the most effective because of the double blade situation. Blade 2, Trinity, the Bladinator, Blade Harder. I think that's what that movie was called. Oh, they're pretty soft. Yeah. And that's so dark, that liquid. All that smokiness. Now, there's way too many peppers here for the amount of adobo that I've made. When you buy adobo sauce in like Chipotle peppers in a can, they're going to be whole like this, but you're typically just going to want to blend that up anyway. So I'm just going to throw in, I don't know, just a random amount. I'm just winging this, to be honest. I mean, the chili is the star of the show, so that's certainly what we want a lot of in there. A little bit of that water's fine as well. You know what? I think I'm just going to throw all of them in there. Fuck it. You can always add a little bit of extra salt and spice and cumin and stuff to your final product if it's not. Then we're going to add our adobo spice combination. See if I can get that on camera. Oh man, that is chunk city population chunk. I'm not gonna lie, I like it when they're thick. Now comes the fun part. That is too chunko, which is why we add a little bit of the broth, which is just smoky water. Is this almost how they make liquid smoke? There we go. Just a little bit. A little bit more. Not the best fucking pouring thing. Whoa, what's all this about? Look at that. That is... Whoa! That's got a kick. So, let's have a quick taste. Oh, man. That's hot. That's good, but that's yummy. I might add a little bit more tomato paste, just a tiny little bit, and a little bit more vinegar, just a tiny little bit, just to add a bit of tang. But essentially that is a delicious adobo sauce. I'm getting everywhere though. Woohoo! I don't know why I don't do this in the kitchen. It doesn't make any fucking sense. Yes! Oh yeah. Woo! Let's have a taste. I mean, that's already delicious. And that's just the adobo. Amazing. With chipotle peppers. But now, woo! Yeah, this will clear out your sinuses for sure. Get that in your guts, you sexy little mama. Yeah.
Oh, that's really nice. It's hot though, yeah.
You're not supposed to have hot chili on your diet, so only have a little bit, okay?
Yeah. That's really nice though. I wish I hadn't had any.
Because you want more now. Yeah. Oh, soon, my love.
Really nice.
2 more months and then you can eat whatever you want.
Smoky.
Yeah. And that's not even the chipotle bit, that's just the adobo part. Chipotle! Alright. We've got our adobo, we've got our chipotle peppers all blended up. Now let's make an authentic chipotle sauce. Let's do it. For the chipotle, we are going to add to this adobo fucking abomination, whatever it is I've made here, some sour cream. We're gonna use about half a cup of sour cream and 1/4 cup of mayonnaise. You can use your favorite brand of either of these. My goddess of a wife made some homemade mayonnaise from scratch, so that's really cool. So we're gonna use that. Half a cup, eh? I don't have a cup. So, actually that was supposed to be 1/4 cup. Fuck! Oh well, that'll do. It'll be fine. Nice and creamy, and the sour cream is what gives it that tang. We'll put a little bit of that in there. Yum. Fucking yum. Fucking that is so good. A little bit more apple cider vinegar. Again, not necessary, but it is nice. Oh, and some lemon. I need lemon. All right. Lemon. Should I flip this one up? Sorry, Sandy. We'll just fucking blast some of this in there. You don't have to add lemon. It doesn't really matter. I like the extra tanginess of it. I'm a tangy boy. Definitely gonna want some fresh coriander or cilantro, as my American brothers and sisters and others like to say. Yeah, cilantro, yeah. Let's throw some cilantro. Yeah. I'll put a bit more in there. I love that shit. That is the stuff, mate. Right, I'm also going to add just a little bit of sweet paprika, just because I really, really like it. A lot of recipes will call for powdered chili, cayenne peppers, whatever. I am such a fan of paprika, which is just dried chili. You can add a little bit of extra cumin for taste, and of course, if it's not salty enough, you can add a little bit of extra salt, but that's good enough for me. We'll wait and see. That's it. Don't forget, you've got that extra smoky water. You can add just regular water to this if it's too smoky. I like a really smoky chipotle sauce. I mean, the whole point of chipotles is that they're smoked. That smoky sort of flavor can be off-putting to some people. So if you don't want to use your smoked chipotle water, you can always just add regular water. That's fine. Let's see where we're at. See if we need to adjust. Come on. Yum, 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 yum. Oh, yeah, it looks like baby poo, but that's a chipotle sauce. Oh my god. Maybe a little bit more cilantro, but otherwise, yeah, you can sprinkle some on top, especially if you're not on selling. Speaking of which, I mentioned I own and run a hot sauce company. You can jump on our website if you want to support the channel and buy a bottle. That's the best way to support us. If you're Australian, I don't have international sales set up just yet. I don't actually have a chipotle sauce in my lineup because of all the cream and stuff. unless you're using sulfites and all these crazy preservatives, you're not going to get a great shelf life out of this. So keep it in the fridge. You get a couple of weeks, I'd say. Just look at the expiration date on your cream and your mayonnaise and assume that that's roughly how long your sauce is going to take. Now, because of the vinegar, the salt and sugars and other things, it's probably going to extend a little bit beyond that. But typically, this doesn't last heaps long unless you, I would say, pasteurize. So you can keep your chipotle and your adobo sauce separate, add a little bit of extra vinegar. That's going to give it some really good shelf life. Then when it's time for a party, bring out your adobo sauce and then add your cream and mayonnaise to that afterwards and you're good to go. This is fantastic. I'm so stoked with that. I'm really, really, really happy. So start making some chipotle sauce, guys. Get into it, because it is, there's a reason why this is in every single fucking Mexican restaurant on earth. It's because it tastes sensational. It really is the purest flavor combination ever. Simple, delicious, spectacular. Chipotle, the sauce of the future. Except it's like thousands of years old. Sort of, not the sauce. What am I talking about? I don't know. You want to try, my love?
Yes, I'll just try a tiny amount.
Do you want a shovelful?
So smoky. Yeah, I do. I want a bucket.
A bucket? You limey git. How's that? It's fucking good, right? Yeah, too bad you can't eat it.
Oh, that's so good.
I know, right? I made so much of it too. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna have to eat all of this. I'm gonna get so fat. Oh, god damn it. That's alright. I'm almost 40. I'm allowed to put on a couple of pounds, aren't I? I've been Jacob. You've been watching Choo. If you like this video, be sure to share it all around. Do all the YouTube stuff. If you are Australian, you don't have to be Australian, but if you're living in Australia, you can buy a bottle of my hot sauce online. It's a great way to contribute to the channel. Sorry for anyone who is international. I don't have international distribution just yet. It's a little bit too expensive for me to set up, and also I'm technologically cursed, so I don't really know what I'm doing there. But yeah, grab a bottle. It's a great way because it helps us out monetarily, and you also get something back in return. It's not just throwing money at me to swear and carry on camera. So grab a bottle, jump on the website. Again, the best way you can help us out is to just share this all around and have some fun. Make some hot sauce. If you've got a hot sauce recipe, leave it in the description below. I'm a spice wizard. I love my spice so much. I'm always looking for new recipes. Always looking for something to try that's a little bit different. So if you've got a hot sauce recipe, leave it in the description below. And yeah.
Do you mean leave it in the comments?
Yeah, I mean leave it in the comments. What did I say?
Description.
Surprise.
Surprise chord at the end there.
Fuck. Fuck. Classical guitar anymore. I actually used to be a classical guitarist. I have a degree in classical music, but I broke my hand in a mighty battle with the kitchen cabinet, and ever since then I have not been able to play a classical guitar. That's a shame, because it was a lot of fun once. Oh well, in another life perhaps. What the hell is this?